Let me say a special good morning to those of you listening to Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9 on the FM dial. Those of you who are viewing GBN TV, whether it's Channel 7, Channel 11, Channels 20, good morning. Welcome to another edition of To The Point. I'm your host, GT. Let me say good morning also to my social media audience, those of you viewing via the of course, YouTube channels, what is the Facebook page. There's a lot of you who also view and listen via GBN's webpage, gbn.gd. Good morning and welcome to this edition of To The Point. It's Opposition Tuesday here on To The Point this morning. And representing the opposition this morning, I have the General Secretary. I hope I got that right, Mr. Roland Bhola with us this morning. Mr. Bhola, good morning and welcome, sir. How are you this morning?
Good morning, GT. I'm quite fine, and good morning to your audience, wherever they are, and listening or viewing by whatever means. I mean, you call the host areas from where they are listening or they can listen. I just want to say good morning to everyone, and hope that we are all doing fine in the Isle of Spice.
All right. And how are you doing that? I would ask. I mean, we have just, of course, we are going through, of course, 1 year of celebrations, Independence 2024, our 50th anniversary. How are you doing? How are you doing? How did you celebrate it this time around with us on the actual date? Although we do have a whole year to go through with it, but how was that for you?
The day itself was a quiet day for me. Unfortunately, I was not able to make it to the National Stadium. There was some impediments in my way, things that came up unexpectedly. But I got an opportunity to view part of the celebrations on the day itself. Amazing. I must commend, and by the way, let me again say happy birthday to Grenada, and commend and thank all the people of Grenada for the show of patriotism, if we want to call it that, and in particular the committee, the planning and management committee, the people who actually put things in place to execute what went on the day itself. I think it really was, in my mind, and I haven't had an opportunity to discuss with that many people the day's activities, but the few whom I've spoken with did express themselves that it was really fantastic what they saw. That being said, and that day is gone, you mentioned it, and I'm a little concerned about it that we're hearing of an entire year's celebration. What I'm not sure about, and that is for me, is that I have not heard the announcements of what else will be happening throughout the year. What are the activities that we must engage in? What are the plans from that planning committee of things that we are supposed to be doing to continue the celebration for the entire year? Maybe it was announced, maybe it came in small bits at a time. I'm not sure, but I have not heard, and so that's one of the concerns that I have.
All right. Let me also ask you this. We from the initial launch of our independence back in October last year to the actual date when we had the independence anniversary, the date of it. What would you think could have done? What do you think could have done different from an opposition point of view? What do you think could have been done different?
Who did what they did?
Well, in terms of the
yes, I know you want to know what else I think, and I'll tell you exactly. But before I do, I just want to make sure I place on record that whoever did what, whoever planned, I commend them for what was done. However, though, I felt that we needed some way. Maybe it hasn't happened yet. I don't know. To do something that we are meant to achieve from 50 years onwards. Let me just give an example, and I'm not saying that is what should be, just an example. So, for example, let's look simply at obesity. There are a lot of obese and overweight people moving around. And we all know, we hear it all the time, the medical practitioners tell us that once you're overweight, you're obese, the chances of you getting chronic illness is much greater. And so maybe we could have seen a launch of a program that says, look, On our 50th, or in celebration of our 50th anniversary, we want to launch this program. And over 5 years, we hope to eradicate or significantly reduce the number of obese people in our country. Yeah, so we say give us 5 years. So for the next 5 years, we know that this is something we're targeting. And that's just one example. We could look at a lot of other, as we know, most of the illnesses that we have, be it diabetes or hypertension, even heart disease and cancer. And so they are diet related. Much of it can be traced back to what we eat, what we consume on a daily basis. And probably we could have launched a program that coincides with our 50th anniversary that says, okay, over the next 10 years, we will want to eradicate or significantly reduce these foods from our plate, from our diet. Something like that brings, in my mind, a significance of things that we want to work towards. So 50 years has gone, we celebrate what we have achieved. Now we're moving forward. And it could have been even greater than that. We could have a 25-year, 30-year, 40-year plan to say for the next 25 years, when we are going to be celebrating 75, when we're going to be celebrating 60. This is what we hope to achieve. This is where we hope to be, and things like that. I think in my mind, that is what was lacking, or one of the significant things that was lacking from all of what we did.
Do you think from your point of view, do you think what you thought you think maybe been a miss by the celebrations committee in reference to our 50th anniversary? It's something that you thought you just mentioned that, of course, the health of individuals is also important. I think some emphasis should have placed on that. But anything that you think maybe was a miss by the celebrations committee that could have enhanced our celebrations a wee bit more as it goes through from the initial stages to where it's at now and going through for the rest of the year? Anything you think maybe could have been a miss that could have been highlighted more?
Okay. I'll talk about two individuals I felt whose names should have been more prominent. But like I said in the beginning, GT, I have not heard, and maybe they are, I have not heard the plans for the rest of the year. And maybe some of what I'm thinking was missing may be well placed in the continuation of the celebration for the rest of the year. So forgive me if I mentioned something that probably the committee would have planned, but I have not heard what they are doing or the intents for the rest of the year. I thought Eric, while he was celebrated, being, as we commonly call him, the father of independence, there could have been some more promotion of that gentleman. He brought it to us. He was the one who fought the colonial masters and say fought in inverted commas here. And I also felt that Dr. Mitchell, one of the longest serving prime ministers that we had in Grenada, maybe he and some of the achievements under his watch could have been highlighted a little bit more so that the history could be known, the story could be told in a more brilliant and more colorful way. Those two things. There are several other little things, but they are trivial. And granted that we won't understand and we won't be able to do everything that everybody wants or everybody would like to see happen. Maybe a bit more consultation prior to the celebrations might have brought out a few more ideas coming from the ordinary man and woman if you went into the various locations and established them some of the things that you have planned and what they themselves would like to see. Granted, as I said, that you may never be able to do everything that everybody wants.
You know, also, Mr. Bhola, unification. That was talked about a whole lot, you know,
Yes.
Unification. What more could you think could have been done as relates to our 50th anniversary in terms of unification?
Well, it's a word that has been commonly used not only in this era, in era before that, and so I think it's a word that Grenadians are very used to. What we don't see is the practicality in it. We don't actually see our leaders, past and present, friends and foe, while we may have differences, and that's what a democracy calls for, not you accepting everything I say and I accepting everything you say, but we having disagreements by words, over different issues. But at the end of the day, for the greater good, for the benefit of the nation and the people of the nation, we can compromise and we can hold hands and we can do activities together. We didn't see a lot of that happening. We did not see the coming together of the past and the present. We did not see people doing things in a united way to actually show it in a practical way. So we spoke about it, but we did not practice it enough. And I think that was an excellent opportunity for us, our 50th anniversary, to show that our ideas, our ideology might vary a little bit, but at the end of the day, what all of us want is betterment for Grenada. And so we can show the nation that despite differences in ideology, we can still work together to achieve some of what is best for Grenada.
You did mention that you're not too deep into the politics of Grenada lately. Though you spend a lot of time knowing your farm and so forth, But tell me, how do you view Grenada's development over the last 50 years?
We have made some strides, GT. And I'm being very, very brass and very honest, but I think we have missed out on some very good opportunities to transit. This government watchword is transformation. And I think that they've missed a golden opportunity with our 50th anniversary for real transformation of the country, the people, and the economy. And when I say real transformation, I'm not talking about having things done overnight. I know it takes planning, it takes time, it takes money, it takes people to put together some of the projects that would want to happen. But I thought it was an opportunity to really, when you had people rallying with each other, it's a thing about us in Grenada that
seem to have lost a bit of connection there.
There's a greater pulling together and unity of people around independence time. And that could have been a moment that the present administration could have used to rally the call for us to work together, work closer together for the benefit of our people. I've said over the last 50 years, we have missed some glorious ones. We've tried, we have gotten some things done. So, for example, the passing of Hurricane Ivan. After that, it was an excellent opportunity again for us to see major transformation and change taking place, because I think at that time, the people felt that we really needed to rely on each other and work with each other. And our leaders sometimes just miss those moments, and we recognize after the fact that more could have been done. And I felt that using that period, we could have done a bit more to unify our people, to talk unity, yes, but also to practice it.
A question that is tickling my mind. Folks would say that the present administration has only been around for a year, and some they had the previous administration, which you were part of, has been one of the longest serving administration here. In terms of our 50th anniversary and so forth, would you lay? You said that we have missed a whole lot and there's more. Would you say maybe want to lay the blame maybe on the organization that you were part of back then, in terms of not having that much off in terms of the development of Grenada? If you care to respond to that.
Yeah, I care to respond to it, because I am not about laying blame, not on this administration, not on the previous one. We are all guilty as Grenadians, maybe for not speaking up more. Yes, I do feel that, and I've said it, that, the powers that be on various occasions may have missed a good opportunity. I did say for the independence, this administration may have missed, and I cited the aftermath of Ivan as a glorious opportunity that the previous administration missed. There are several other occasions that we can all look at. The thing here is that I think as a people, not just as a government, because any government is as strong as the people that supports it and that are behind it and are demanding certain things from it, because sometimes we get into comfort zones. But the people who we are meant to serve and the people who we are meant to take care of can be a bit more demanding, not in any violent way, because sometimes when you use those words, there are those who may misconstrue that you mean pick up your arms and fight and, get violent. But I think there need to be a lot more lobbying, yes? When we see our leaders, our administrators, applicating their duties, we probably need to lobby more. We need to get more of our people together at the village level, at the constituency level, at the parish level, and lobby. I believe there's value in it. So it's not about laying blame at one person. Some persons may have to take a greater blunt of the responsibility than others. But I think all of us as a nation, all of us have a role to play. And I am not about to say this government is totally responsible or the previous.
A little bit of a connection issue there, Mr. Bhola, for some reason.
Up till today.
All right.
Various administrations and the people of Grenada altogether have to examine. We all need to examine ourselves and see where we went wrong, what we could have done different, and what is the best way forward.
So, Bhola, we drew for a break. Let's take it. Having a little bit of a connection issue with you for some reason or other. We probably could work on that during the break. Yes. Let's take a break. We're coming right back. Stay with us, folks. It's To The Point here on Classic Radio GBN TV. It's Opposition Tuesday. We'll be right back after the break.
Planning and Development Authority of Grenada, PDA, is enforcing regulations to curb illegal, disorderly, and unauthorized development in several locations throughout the state of Grenada. The authority is concerned that structures mainly associated with vending are negatively impacting the environment, has undesirable public health and sanitation consequences, present obstructions to vehicle and pedestrian traffic, can become projectiles during adverse weather conditions, and generally affect the aesthetics of the nation. The PDA will work along with stakeholder ministries and institutions to effect the demolition, removal, and disposal of structures which fall in the category of illegal and disorderly development, commencing January 2024. In this regard, persons who vend in or occupy such illegal structures are advised to secure their personal belongings and have the structures removed ahead of the planned PDA demolition operations. These actions of the PDA have become necessary to safeguard and protect public health and the environment, ensure the safety and well-being of all citizens and visitors, discourage any future disorderly construction, and encourage compliance to regulations pertaining to physical development in the state of Grenada. This is a message from the Planning and Development Authority of Grenada.
If I take time and I write down all the things that I love on my island.
For our year-long celebration of our 50th anniversary of independence,
let us show how much we love our country.
Let's all stand together as family, friends, and neighbors throughout.
May the spirit of freedom fill our hearts,
and the colors of patriotism paint our lives.
from the Technical Support and Services Department
of the National Lotteries Authority.
Happy 50th anniversary of independence, Grenada.
50 years we strong and more to come.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. Welcome back, of course, Mr. Roland Bhola with us this morning, representing the new National Party or the opposition here in Grenada. Once again, welcome, Mr. Bhola. Welcome back. So, a slight defer in our conversation this morning. I want to get into, of course, conversation more of the new National Party. A word that we've been hearing a lot from various representatives popping in from the New National Party here on the program is reorganizing. The reorganization of the party. Tell us how is that process going, and how, of course, if you want to share any new developments and so forth that maybe your listening and viewing public may like to hear about. Tell us, let's go in terms of the reorganizing part of the New National Party.
Okay, thank you for that question, GT. It is public knowledge that the New National Party was defeated in the last general elections. Yes, and from a position of being.
Seem to me have lost you there again for some reason. We seem to be losing you from time to time, Mr. Bhola. Continue. Yeah.
I want to believe it is the internet sometimes failing me. I am looking at my box. All my lights are on, so it's there.
All right. Well, let's continue as it's the work in progress for now. Let's continue for now. Yeah.
In ways that we don't expect. Yes, but as I was saying, having been defeated at the polls, any serious organization would want to examine what were the reasons, and not examine just to lay blame, but to take responsibility for what you would have done incorrectly or where you made your mistakes. And so we have done that. We have had retreats. We have done self-examination. And we recognize to a certain extent that our organization, our ground game, was not where it should be, our machinery was not properly oiled. And I'm not just talking about, most times you hear the political parties speak about oiling your elections machinery. It was not just that. We felt in some ways we had lost a contact a bit. We have lost touch with our people, our rank and file members. While we had constituency representatives and we had ministers and people who was being serviced from a government standpoint, receiving whatever it is that government had to offer, the party and its work and
all right, a bit of a connection dropping again there from.
Not to determine how do we correct that. We are going to face another election at some point in time, based on our constitutional requirements every 5 years. Could be before, and so you do not want to repeat some of what had happened in the last election. So we are actively trying to change some of what needs to be changed and to do some of the things that we did not do. Now, I must admit that this is taking a bit more time than we all expected. We had set ourselves certain targets, and after review on 2 separate occasions, in-depth review, we recognized that we are still behind in terms of where we expected to be. We also understand that when a political party is in opposition, a lot of the times that the people, the supporters, the people whom you expect to do certain things are a bit more reluctant. And so we are marching on slowly, but we identify that we need to intensify that reorganizational work. And as you have heard it mentioned regularly by people from the opposition, is because that's an issue that is discussed every single time we have an executive meeting. We discuss that. We discuss where we are. We discuss what more should be done. What more some constituencies are ahead of others. They are not all at the same level. And so those that are lagging, we look for what may be the reasons and we try to correct them. So definitely we are in the process of reorganizing.
Tell me about the NNP constitution organizations within for the NNP. Are they functioning in any way? Are they functioning in terms of the constituency organizations?
Yes, they are. What our constitution dictates is that we build from the ground up. So every constituency will have what you call polling divisions. And so our constitution dictates that you need to have an organized body, an organized group in every polling division. And therein lies some of the issues. So you may have some constituencies because by virtue of size, will have more polling divisions than others. So a constituency with 11 polling divisions, for example, you may have 7 or 8 polling divisions well organized and moving, and the other 3 or 4, you're having an issue. And coming from the polling division, you have what is called a constituency branch, which means that all of the polling divisions must be organized, have their own little executive, the chairperson, and so at the polling division level. And then these people come together in one room when they are fully organized and to elect what is called now a constituency branch, meaning that the constituency branch supervises over the polling division. And then from the constituency branch, that's where you will choose your delegates to go into a convention to elect your national executive. So as you see, it's interrelated and it is connected from the ground up. So while it is oftentimes very difficult to get all of your polling divisions going, but you want to have a majority of them well organized and operational so you can have your constituency branch elections. And there are some constituencies that already have constituency branches. There are some that are in the process of putting a date and the time for our constituency branch elections. And there are some that are still a little way behind because they have not had a significant enough or number of polling division groups organized. And you find that mainly in some of the constituencies that do not have parliamentary representation. So you rely now on a body of people to work together. And they're doing their best in most instances. Some are a little bit slow. So it's a little hindrance to some of the bigger things that we want to do. But we have the faith and the belief, and based on the meetings that we've been having, almost weekly, I do have a meeting in a different constituency in relation to structure and organization. And so we are getting this. Slower, like I said, than we want to be, but we have hopes that it's going to happen pretty soon to have a complete circle of everybody doing what they're supposed to do and being able to have the convention coming up after that.
You know, Mr. Bhola, you being the General Secretary, what are some of the feedbacks that you've been getting or hearing more or less around the island as it relates to the new National Party as it is right now? What are some of the feedbacks you've been getting?
Well, you have some people, it varies. There is no one straight sound being echoed. Quite a lot of people believe that the new National Party does have a chance and probably is the party that should return to help reshape Grenada, as they say. And you're asking me what is coming from people. Some people believe that it was a mistake that was made to have changed. There are others who feel that we are too lackadaisical, as they use the word, that we should be more intense. Some people are saying that we should have protests and whatnot. Others are saying that, well, we need to have more big meetings like rallies and so. And we take all of these things into consideration and we look at the pros and cons of doing everything that people ask you to do. Like I've said earlier on in this program, you cannot please everybody. You cannot do everything everybody wants, but you need to take into consideration all that's been said to you. It needs to be examined and discussed and recognize which route you should take, which one will be more beneficial. And we are not a party that believes in disruption and fighting, because at the end of the day, what we want is better for Grenada, whether it is NNP bringing it or another party bringing it. So we are going to work within the confines of what is normal, what is peaceful. Yes, sometimes you have to be a little bit more forceful, but you do not have to be disruptive. We take that kind of principle. And so, like I say, what you get as you go along and you speak to people, it varies. And you give a listening ear. And then you have discussion at a higher level and make a determination what we believe is prudent to go forward with and what we believe should be laid on the back burner.
All right, Mr. Bhola, we due for a break. Let's take that break. When we come back, my next level of conversation I would like to get into is a conversation of the convention. And there's been a lot of talk about it, and we've been hearing different conversations as it relates to it. When we come back, I would like to get a little in-depth conversation with you as it relates to that. When we come back after the break. Stay with us, folks. It's To The Point here, Classic Radio, GBN TV. We'll be right back.
Records at the traffic department shows that a total of 1,447 accidents were reported for the year 2012, which includes 3 road fatalities. 2,946 accidents were reported for the year 2022, which includes 8 road fatalities. This is a significant increase of 104%. This is alarming. When a family tragically loses a loved one, does it matter whether by means of a gun or a motor vehicle? To avoid accidents, drivers and pedestrians alike must exercise extreme caution when using the road.
You know, one day I woke up and, you know, they painted a set of pedestrian crossing all along the streets. You know, nobody told us how to use that thing properly.
I know how.
You're serious?
Every safe, good driver knows about these things. As a driver, you have to be very attentive. You know you're coming up close to a pedestrian cross, you start slowing down immediately, looking to see if there's any pedestrian on the side getting ready to cross. If there is, you stop on the line that is a certain distance before the crosswalk. Then you would see the pedestrian put their hands out, looking directly at you, indicating that they are going to cross. And only when you have come to a complete stop, that is when they will quickly and safely cross to the other side. And then you continue happily on your journey.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact, wait for pedestrian to cross. Then you happily continue on your journey.
This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
I want you to control your anger. There's a way to feel better. That's one thing to remember. No matter where you are, you can be a star. Stop and take a deep breath. Take another deep breath. And relax it. Relax it. Eliminate violence.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's still a point here on Classic Radio, GBN TV, for today, Tuesday, the 20th day of February 2024. Welcome back, Mr. Bhola. So, Bhola, once again, good morning and welcome back, sir. How are you doing once again?
Good.
All right.
Thank you.
We have kind of lost the video aspect from you for a wee bit, having that a little bit of glitch, but I guess the audio section is working pretty all right. So there's a bit of a still picture of you on TV for now until we rectify the video aspect of it. It's all to do with connection issue, I'm assuming. Before the actual break, I did mention to you convention. You know, it's been said by the opposition leader, it's not the lead conversation right now that we should be having. Tell us the how preparation, if there's any taking place. Convention is a talk that is always on the mind of individuals when we speak about the new national party. How's the process going in terms of convention?
Well, in terms of what I've explained just prior to the break, GT, to do a convention and to do it constitutionally, you must have delegates. because these are the people who can actually participate. These are the people who can vote. These are the people who will determine what position different people hold at the national level, whether it's general secretary or reporting secretary, the person who will be the labor relations person, the leader, the deputy leader, and things like that. And as I've explained, the Constitution clearly spells out how do you come about to select your delegates. And until and unless you have a good level of organization at the constituency level, starting from the polling division or the village groups up to the constituency branch, from where you can now select your delegates, every constituency has to participate. Then you will be running a mockery or foul of what the Constitution asks. The Constitution also says that there should be a convention at least once in every 12 months, yes? But it gives rise to the fact that if there is some significant issue, that the present executive can take a decision to postpone and push back. I honestly believe, and I know, and I've heard it said, that we will have convention during 2024. We're working towards that. As I've mentioned before, we are doing and we're trying to intensify the work. It has been progressing slower than everyone wished. We thought that within the
a bit of a loss in connection there again. Yes, go right ahead.
Reorganize. But it's not that way at the moment. And so there are some other conditions in the Constitution that speaks to the fact that when a certain number of constituencies are ready, in case you didn't get all of them up to where you want them. We'd love to have that. We'd love to have 100% participation going the exact way as the Constitution said, to the letter. But you have situations where once a certain percentage of constituencies are ready, that can be the mirror, that can be the marker for you to go ahead and have the convention. So we are pushing strongly ahead to try and have all. But like I say, there comes a time when the decision would have to be made. Let me just expand on that a little bit and say, listen, we understand what we have to do, and we are doing it. I think there is a greater noise coming from the outside than from the inside. And four parents used to say that the noise in the market is not necessarily the sale. People have different ideas, even some members of the party, but we are being led by an executive that understands what they have to do, and we will do it. We will do it. We will not be pushed or shoved because of the noise in the marketplace, but we want to do it proper so that when it's done, people can look back at it and scrutinize and recognize that democracy was in place, that things were done right, things was done in the way that the Constitution expected it to be done, and so there can be no cry of foul.
Another question that I would like to ask: is there an issue, or is there an issue of leadership problems in course when it comes to the new national party? Is there a problem along those lines?
I just missed the very, very first part. As you said, we seem to have a little break.
My question is there an issue with leadership within the new national party?
Not that I know of, GT. There's no issue with leadership at this time in the party. Yes? I think people are a little bit more jumpy and people are losing patience a little bit because of statements that was made by the present political leader. And the fact that one of our members, the Honorable Peter David, has said, look, whenever that time comes and we go back to the delegates, we go back to the constituents, I'd like to put myself up for a challenge for leadership, if there should be a challenge. In over 30 years, the new National Party has not had a challenge for leadership. We have had conventions, and Dr. Mitchell has been re-elected unopposed as leader. So it will be probably for the first time in 30 years that there may be a challenge. And I'm saying may because since Dr. Mitchell's announcement, he has not said clearly, well, I've changed my mind, I'm going back, I'm doing another round and giving reasons. So we still believe that he won't. We believe, as he has said to us, that he wants to help and see that the party is well oiled and reorganized and go to the convention and there would be no major issues. But I think in the minds of a lot of people, both within the party and outside of the party, and I think more so outside of the party, they are eager to see what that would be like. Some people believe there'll be a big showdown, that there'll be some clashes. We don't think so. Those of us who are involved in trying to put this thing together don't believe there'll be any showdown, there'll be any clash. We believe that the process will happen smoothly, but anxiety and so lack of patience. So it's very loud out there, and we understand that. The media, wants to be the first. Somebody, some news person wants to say, well, I was the first to bring the news to say that this was going to happen, and it happened. So there's a lot of talk about it and around it.
Okay. It's Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9. Mr. Bhola, of course, in this segment, I want to invite, of course, I want to invite, for our listeners and viewers of it who may have a question or two that they may like to ask you in this segment. The number 435-2041. You also have the option of giving us a call via the WhatsApp, and it's definitely the same number, 435-2041. Let's entertain our very first caller. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning to you. GT, and good morning to you, Mr. Bhola.
Good morning, Chair.
First of all, I must say that I've always seen you as someone of reason. I think we've met a couple of times, and we have had exchanges on air, and I respect you as a person. Matter of convention, and so to me, these things are not that bread and butter matter for Grenadians at this point in time. However, I want to talk a little bit, though, about independence that has just passed. And party politics is alive and well. And there'll always be, someone from one side who is unhappy with something. We don't live in a perfect world. And I think it was a very ambitious plan by the young administration, what they attempted to do. So many moving parts. In a country where we don't have that amount of talent, human resource talent to get all those things happening. And probably something didn't come out perfect, but everything came out well. And I think we must commend them for that. And the matter of the opposition leader, I understand there is merit in folks saying that he should have been highlighted a bit more. But most of us are missing the point. It is not about long service. This is about independence. What does independence mean? What does it mean to put your people on the road to becoming more independent? We can see it. Of course, the father of independence, he broke the ground. He started it. We can look at what happened in the 4.5 years of the NJM, a party I didn't 100% support. But we could have seen them make great strides in making Grenadians become independent. Lots of the things they started in 4.5 years, you could have seen that the aim was to make us independent of our colonial masters. And whereas the opposition leader had a very long service, but he got a long service award. He had a long service. There is not that threat to say that XYZ was done in that 20-something years that has really fueled a drive towards making Grenada an independent country. So we have to look at it in those eyes. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve more than he got, but it is not a long service award. It's an acknowledgement of people who have helped to make us an independent people and what they have done to push that drive towards independence of us as a people. Now, quickly, I must say that I've been around the country in the last few weeks doing some work. Grenadians are very happy. As you said, we probably could have done more to capitalize on the spirit of unity and cooperation. Hardly anyone said they didn't like what happened. We have a good feel kind of air that we're riding right now. But you know what hurts me? People are hurting inside. Grenadians are lamenting the fact that we have lost a community spirit over the last 2 decades. People used to work together in a community. They don't work anymore. We have been splintered. We have been divided deliberately by politics. Because politics, the politician doesn't really work community, you know. All it is a majority. So we have seen a deliberate attempt to divide our communities so that people could get the bigger piece and run with it. And we have suffered. Folks are saying to you, how can I come? I don't have a job. Come out on a Sunday and give self-help to a man who's being paid to do nothing during the week. And they're telling all this inadequate, you know, this unfairness, it is just not right. We see people benefiting with no effort, and they are being asked now to work for free. So we have done a lot. We have to heal this land. We are hurting, and unless we address it quickly, we are not going to give ourselves a chance to recover. We have a little bump in terms of unity. Let us take advantage of it. And not everybody trying to cry down everything, let me go 100% correct and fighting on everything. Let us savor this moment and let's try to rise from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. And the caller did say a whole lot there, Mr. Bhola. I'm not sure of anything in particular that what the caller mentioned that you would like to probably follow up on.
Well, I must be honest, GT, because of the little audio issues, there were little breaks in between. And so I missed a couple of things. But I don't think I want to dive into some things that you've said made sense. I don't want to get into an argument. There are one or two things that probably could be challenged, but I hope, like I've said in the beginning, it's an opportunity, again, another opportunity for us as a people to really show unity in a practical way and work for the benefit of our people and our nation. That's all I would say on it. But I did miss one or two little bits when the audio went off a bit for a couple of seconds.
All right. We do have another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
GT, good morning to you, and good morning to Mr. Bhola. GT, I don't really call to ask Mr. Bhola a question, but I just have something for you, GT. When you open the line and you ask people...
Caller, this is absolutely not necessary at this time. Let's move on. Caller, good morning. Welcome. Caller, good morning. Good morning to you, caller. Caller via the WhatsApp. Good morning. Guess we lost that caller there. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Telesford. Greetings and greetings to your guest. Can I get the confidence that your guest is hearing me?
Go right ahead, please, sir.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Very well, sir. Greetings, Mr. Bhola.
Good morning.
As we go straight to the point, Mr. Bhola, recently there was a message coming from King Charles Rex III to the people of Grenada. At the end of it, the Governor General who read the message with great alacrity, should I say, stated the following: Charles Rex III, King of England, King of Grenada. Questions. Do you have any views on that? Do you consider this pertinent when we look at the issue related to the political independence of this here country, which we have just celebrated 50 years of? Will your party participate, if called upon by the administration currently governing the country, to join in a referendum to ask the people of Grenada if they wish to continue to live in perpetuity under an imperial order and council of the king stroke, queen stroke, monarch's most imperial order? Or would you withdraw? I trust that my question is clear, sir. Do have a nice day, will you?
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Any response, Mr. Bhola?
Complete.
Yes, he has completed. Go right ahead.
Yeah, well, he has asked a very pertinent question that I'm in no position at this time to answer yes or no whether my party will participate. Issues like that must be brought forward and have a discourse with the relevant persons at the lead of the party, plus the rank and file members who you will go to. You will explain what the call is for, and to determine whether you want to participate or not. But time will tell. I can't say yes, we will, or no, we will. I may have my personal views, which I am not prepared to give now because I'm here representing the party and not just myself.
We do have another caller. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning. Welcome.
Hey, good morning, GT.
Good morning to you. Go right ahead, please.
Bhola.
Good morning,
Mr. Bhola. I'm so happy that you come on the program today and you didn't come to bash government, but I think you sound very fair in my opinion. I may be wrong, but I have to give you what is yours. Okay, my question to you, all right? I was listening to you and I heard you mention that every 12 months that you guys are supposed to have a convention, all right? And we're approaching almost 2 years since the Dickon administration is in power. All right, so that means that within is almost 2 years now you did not have a convention, which means that all the executive, including the leadership of your party, is up for grabs right now. So that means that if you didn't have a convention and you're supposed to have one at every 12 months, that means that you're operating now without a political leader. As we know, Dr. Mitchell is the leader of His Majesty opposition. Right? So the question I'm asking now, all right, that, okay, as I know you mentioned about you're going to have a convention sometime this year, and then I will go back to, like, you guys win 15 seats back to back. Okay, and in this election that passed, you guys won 6 seats also. So how comes now that you guys need so many times to organize and to get delegates in place so that you could have a convention? You know, not to say that you guys did not win any seat. You had 16 seats. You know what I mean? So I think it's a poor excuse that you guys are making. All right, and another thing I want to talk about again is that that whenever, okay, you're saying that people on the outside waiting for like a showdown or something. It's not the people on the outside. Whenever convention is mentioned to Dr. Mitchell get hype and he start thinking and he start carrying on. We cite in one of the conference when they had and they asked him the question, he hype up himself. When he was on GBN also, and then he was talking about the different members of the MPs what he had. And when it comes to Peter David, and then we see his reaction. And since Peter mentioned on the Bob report that he will be putting up himself for grabs, Dr. Mitchell never settled. He's always have something to say and acting up about, and Dr. Mitchell even made a statement, and I want you to correct it for me too, that convention will happen when he called it. He said that in Go in a rally. Whenever he said there are going to be convention, they're going to be convention. So if you're saying that the executive members are the one that will be calling the convention, including you, who is the chairman right now, so then what Dr. Mitchell is saying is obsolete. You know what I mean? So this telling us...
Take another 10 seconds and wrap, please. Take another 10 seconds and wrap. Because we're a bit strapped for time, we can entertain some other call. Basically, that's it. Any response to the caller, Mr. Bhola?
I just want to tell the caller, he has some inconsistencies in what he's saying. I did mention that the Constitution said at least once every 12 months, but there are caveats in the Constitution that gives the present executive the power to postpone, to push back, and once you have valid reasons that are recorded, and that is what is happening. A lot of issues about Dr. Mitchell and hype, and so I wouldn't know about that. I am telling you what I know and what the Constitution calls for and what I see, what is happening. And for the caller's information, the Honorable Peter David had done much more than express his feelings on the Bob report. That was a long time ago. He went as far as to write and sent an official letter to the executive that was accepted. So there's a lot of things that people don't know because you don't always say everything that happens. But I know, and I'm saying, and I hold to what I said, that there's no conflict. There's no issue of leadership. There's nothing illegal that is happening. There's a bit of impatience, and I did say on both the part of some party members and mainly people from the outside. So he may have a different view. So be it.
Let's entertain another caller. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Oh, yes. Good morning, GT. How are you today?
Not too bad, sir. Go right ahead, please.
Right, and morning, Bhola.
Good morning,
No, I think we have to advise Grenadians to let us concentrate more on the economy rather than the politics. But my observation over the years, Mr. Bhola, and it's happening on both sides, I have discovered that the structure which we have is dividing our people so thinly that is creating us some serious concern. The party supposed structure and the color. Do your party have any intent of dismantling the structure which will give our people a chance to settle down and to concentrate on other matters other than the politics? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much.
Thank you, caller. Well, that is not something that we have discussed at depth. We always want unity. I don't know that we as a party has identified and discussed that the colors are bringing separation. Maybe there would have to be a study to provide the evidence that the green and the yellow. I know people talk about it, but generally I don't feel a lot of hostility. There are arguments here and there. There are some people that reach over boiling point from time to time when there's a little discourse or debate or argument about politics. But I don't want to generalize it. I don't think that there is that deep-seated hostility island-wide with you supporting one party, I supporting one party, you have your yellow, I have my green, or what that has brought so much conflict and confusion. But maybe it's something, and it's time that we probably both sides, both parties, or get a neutral person to make a study of it and see if that is splitting the country, and as the caller said, into thin pieces, and then a decision can be taken about it. But from where I sit and from what I know, yes, there are little upheavals here and there, but I don't think it's a major issue at this time. But that's just my view on it.
Hello, say good morning to caller via WhatsApp. Good morning. Let's hear your contribution. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
Mr. Bhola, enough respect to you, sir. But I just find you deflecting most of the question. You're deflecting it. You're not honest enough to answer the question. You're deflecting it. And as a leader, you should come straight and let the people know what's going on. But as I said, what goes around comes around. You understand? The people has grown up and they have seen what the NNP party has done, and you're in opposition, but you're still trying to undermine this government, and it's not going to work. The Grenadian people is smarter, and NNP is going down the drain just like the GULP. Thank you very much, and have a good day.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much.
Thank you, too. You have a blessed day yourself.
We lost that caller there. We have 2 minutes before we take a wrap for today's program. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, please. Go ahead with your contribution, please.
I think it's time that Mr. Bhola should realize that he and his party should step aside and just let what's going on go on. Dr. Mitchell said some time ago that he would have liked to have to hold 50 years celebration of independence, but he didn't do it. And the Lord speak. When he said the Lord speak, what he is saying, maybe he doesn't understand. He's saying that God move him out and get him out. And he don't even realize that he has fighted against God no according to what he see. If he know what he see, God speak. That is why he lose. And now he's fighting, he's doing everything to come back in. But he done, and he done forever. He ain't coming back, and the party also. Just like the speaker before me saying, Gary party done, and he could never come back, and NNP done, and done for good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Mr. Bhola, we have just around 30 seconds moving up before 10 o'clock. And any closing comments you want to throw up before we take a wrap?
I want to thank you again, GT, for hosting me and giving the opposition your institution, giving the opposition an opportunity to have its say. I want to thank all of the callers. People have expressed their own feelings. Of course, time is what will tell what would happen. We know as a party that we are trying to do what is correct, or what we believe is.
Sort of lost you there again, Mr. Bhola, for some reason in terms of that connection that we experienced this morning. Mr. Glen, I want to thank you once again for being on the program this morning. Certainly appreciate you taking the time out to share your views, of course, as relates to the new national party this morning.
The celebration for independence goes on for the rest of the year. Let us do our best to show that we are an independent nation.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Bhola, and best wishes for the rest of the day. Hey, folks, that's what we take a wrap for this edition of To The Point for today. Join us again for another edition tomorrow, most likely, here on Classic Radio GBN TV. That's where I say goodbye.